Doing well. To be or not to be in a recession? That is the question for today. Are we in a recession? How do you prepare for a recession? And how do you keep inflation from kicking you in your butt? I'm going to talk to you guys about some research I've been doing on this economy. It's a crazy economy right now. A lot of interesting things are happening. And we're also going to talk about some stocks that I really like. I'll give you my stock pick of the week toward the end of this conversation. So get comfortable, buckle up your seatbelt. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor. On the Black Financial Channel, we talk about Black wealth and economics every single day, sometimes as much as 10 times a day, under one condition. The condition is that we are Black first. Black first is the B1 culture. B1 means that we put our community at the top of our priority list. B1 also means we educate our kids. We break generational curses. We do not continue them. B1 also means that our kids are going to be the most financially literate, most financially capable, most economically devastating force to ever hit the face of this earth. And so if you're preparing your kids for the future by investing for your kids, put a yes in the chat. If you are teaching your kids about economics every day, put a yes in the chat. If you are doing things to make sure that the future is better than the past, put a yes in the chat. And shout out to all the great Black parents that are doing this. And actually, before I get started, I'd be remiss not to welcome everybody. Number one, shout out the city you're from. I see Amber Gardner, Terry Cobb from Atlanta. I always see you in there, brother, and I love you. Stevie Allen, Antoine, and Bernard Square Productions, Tony C. How you doing? It's so good to see everybody. Denise says, what happens if there's another crash like 1929? Well, we could talk about that for sure. And actually, by the way, also as we get started, I'm going to let you guys know one of the sponsors for today's podcast is Janae's Herbal. Janae's Herbal is started by John DeBerry. John DeBerry started a line of organic health and beauty products. Our products are a unisex line that is rich in herbs and oils that have been used for thousands of years for health and beauty. If you got perfect skin, eczema, razor bumps, diaper rash, or wrinkles, these products are for you. We make your outer beauty match your inner beauty, and the URL's on the screen, janaesherbal.com. If you'd like to have your business shouted out on the Black Financial Channel, feel free to advertise with us. Just go to drboycefinance.com. That's drboycefinance.com. That's where you can actually sign up and get a shout out in our Black business shout out. All right, so let me ask you all this. Let me ask you all a yes or no question real quick. Hey, what's up to everybody on TikTok? My TikTok is Boyce Watkins, easy to find. There's a lot to talk about with TikTok. There are a lot of people who think TikTok is actually being used by the Chinese government to spy on American citizens. Do I think that they're doing it? Probably. I know how the Communist Party works, but then again, the Americans do the same thing. But then at the same time, China does not allow a lot of American social media companies in China. I don't know if y'all know that or not, but when I went to China, and I've been there twice, I taught a class in China. The students there were the best students I ever taught. But then also I went there again with my wife. And when I was there is no Facebook allowed in China. There is no Google allowed in China. If you go look up YouTube in China, you're going to get a dead website. So the Chinese don't allow us to do to them what they're allowed to do to us. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out from a national security standpoint. So if you think that people are being overly paranoid when they worry about that kind of thing, they're not. It just is what it is. But I still have my TikTok, so maybe I'm a hypocrite. Who knows? Anyway, let's jump into this. How many of you, yes or no? Hey, yes or no? How many of you think we are in a recession? Sylvester Stallone, Salamo 2011, and Chiquita, do you think that we're in a recession? Yes or no? Do you think that we are in a recession right now, like sitting in the middle of it, like just it's going, we're going through it, we're there. It's not the future, it's the present. How many of y'all think that we are in a recession right now? Give me a yes or no. Okay, so Derek, Anita, I see your yes. I see Fuzz Beatboxer says me. Terry Cobb says hand up. Okay, yes, we are. Beatrice, Tony C, Phil Jones, Amber Gardner, Cliff Cole, I see you. All right, so yeah, all right, so here's the deal, right? So you're not incorrect on that. A lot of people feel that we are in a recession. A lot of people feel that we're already there. But here's the thing. I know that people say, I've seen people, do podcasts and they say, welcome to the recession. We're in the recession. We're in the recession. I'm not saying that they are wrong. They could be right. But here's where I'm going to draw a little bit of a nuance in there to kind of help you understand how recessions work, is that they're not 100% correct. There are economists who don't believe that we're in the recession yet. There are economists who believe that we're confused right now with the data. A lot of people have used the standard definition of a recession to be 2 consecutive quarters of negative economic growth. That is actually not the technical definition used by the National Bureau of Economic Research. They go much deeper. They look at a number of measures to determine if we are in a recession. So if you ask the head of the National Bureau of Economic Research, are we in a recession? Some of them might say yes, some of their economists might say no, but a lot of them are going to say, it depends, kind of, sort of, because you have a really strong labor market. A lot of times in recessions, you don't have the unemployment rate being as low as it is right now. I went out and I was talking to a brother that was working security at one of the buildings I had to go visit today for a business meeting, and he said, "You know what? We were just saying, how you doing? Good to see you, whatever." And one thing he said was, I said, yeah, it's a blessing to just have a job, man. And he said, there's jobs everywhere. He said, if you don't want to work, if you don't have a job, it's because you don't want one. He said, there's jobs everywhere, and that's true. A lot of people were hired. Millions of people were hired in the last quarter. And what economist Jeremy Siegel has brought up is that it doesn't make any sense that all these people were hired, yet GDP went down. Usually when that many people get hired, productivity goes up, which makes GDP, gross domestic product, go up. He said it went down. So they're trying to figure this out, what's going on with this productivity paradox. So are we in a recession? I'm going to say it depends on which measuring stick that you use. We may be in one, we may not be in one. But I do know that according to a survey with Allianz Life, they basically concluded that 66%, 2/3 of all Americans are worried about the fact that we might be in a recession. They're also worried about inflation. The majority of Americans are worried about inflation. Different groups have different concerns based on their age. They looked at Gen X, they looked at millennials, they looked at boomers, and then there's that other group. Which is it, Gen Z? That's after Gen X, and then after Gen Z, there's another generation. See, that's how I know I'm getting old, because all the generations keep adding up. Generation X, we used to be the young ones, but that ain't true no more. So anyway, so what's going on right here is that you do have a lot of concern. And what I'm going to do is actually talk to you about sort of the dynamics of what's going on, how people are feeling, and how this is probably going to play out, and also how you can prepare, how you can make sure that you're ready for the future. So if you could hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. And I want to give another quick Black business shout out to realinvestors.com/challenge-2s. That URL on the screen. That is a company that is actually doing real estate challenges where they are actually showing people how to buy real estate. I think that buying real estate is a great hedge against inflation. What's the brother's name? Sherman Ragland. Sherman Ragland is doing a series of real estate challenges, and he's asking basically if you are interested in getting started in real estate investing, you can go to realinvestors.com. Sherman Ragland's award-winning MBA who's mentored over 1,200 people in real estate, quick cash, cash flow, legacy wealth, etc. He has a 21-day program that you can sign up for. That URL's on the screen. And that's the next Black business shout out I want to do. And I want to mention that actually real quick in terms of real estate. Here's the thing. Okay, let me know. Do you guys really want to know what I think about inflation? You want me to give you the scientific breakdown, or you want me to really tell you what I really think about inflation? Tell me if you want me to give you the Uncle Boyce perspective on inflation. I can give you the Dr. Boyce analysis of it, but I'm gonna give you the Uncle Boyce. Uncle Boyce is a little bit more raw. The Uncle Boyce perspective on inflation is that inflation is a bunch of crap. It's a bunch of BS. Inflation creates massive amounts of inequality in this country. Inflation is a scenario where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and it's systematically embedded to ensure that those of you that are working regular jobs, getting regular wages, are gonna get screwed. Inflation, there's a documentary on Netflix that I highly recommend. I think it's on Netflix, maybe on something else now, but I believe it was called Boom Bust Boom. Boom Bust Boom it was brilliant. They had Nobel Prize winners speaking, but they would use puppets to try to, make it funny, and they would make little songs about economics. And they talked about how capitalism naturally creates these booms and these busts. I'm not anti-capitalist, but I'm not pro-capitalist either, because it's like a gun. Do I like guns or don't like guns? I don't hate them all the time. Sometimes you need a gun, but then sometimes guns will shoot you in the foot if you don't know how to use it, or use it on the wrong person, or whatever. So guns make me nervous, but at the same time, I like guns when I need one, right? So it's the same way. Capitalism is one of those things that has benefits. There are times where capitalism is what allows you to live this wonderful life that you live as an American, where you've got these privileges and all this wealth and everything else. You're wealthier on a per capita basis than any country on earth. However, capitalism also, it's like an economic drug, and it can create booms and busts unlike any other. So in a way, think of it like drinking your coffee. When I drink my morning coffee, I get going. Any other coffee drinkers in the room? Anybody drink coffee? Give me a guess in the chat if you're a big coffee drinker. So I got my coffee cup right, actually, like literally right here. I have a cup of coffee every morning, and I'm probably even addicted or something. I don't know. I need my coffee in the morning. I'm not a normal person. Well, the coffee gets you going. It's like, yeah, let's go. I'm smarter. I'm sharper. I'm on top of everything, and I'm like that for about 4 hours. But then what happens? You start, right? When you crash, you're done. You need to go take a nap at that point, right? And, so there's the high and then there's the low. Or just like love, if you ever want to have a really boring life, never fall in love. If you never have sex, never date another human being, because you'll never get hurt. You'll never get your feelings hurt because there's nobody around, but then you'll never experience the joy and the excitement of what love brings to the table. Love is wonderful, right? Some people believe that life is a full journey of love. Well, love kind of is like a little bit, not quite, but you can compare it to capitalism. Capitalism is a type of economic love. And similar to regular love, this economic love creates the most amazing experiences, these tremendous economic possibilities, this massive amount of wealth. But then it also creates those crashes, those times where you get your heart broken and you get devastated and you feel like somebody just left you on the corner in the trash, and it makes you never want to date again. Right? So a lot of people, when they go through the bust period, the bust phase of capitalism, that's when they start saying, I think I should just be a communist, or we need socialism. And all those, actually, believe it or not, all those different ideas are good or bad depending on the context. If they're executed properly, all of those ideas, communist, socialism, Marxism, there are good ideas in every single one of those ideologies, right? And then bad ideas too. So capitalism kind of does that. So with inflation, the reason inflation pisses me off a little bit, to be honest with you, is because people like me are beneficiaries of inflation. I'm a rich man. I'm not a broke man. I know how to make money. My PhD is in finance. I studied finance because I knew from a long time ago from my daddy that if you want to be good at something, you study how to do it, and you study it harder than anybody else. It's like basketball. If you want to be the best basketball player, you spend 10 hours a day on the basketball court, and then you'll be dunking on fools all day long, right? So I never understood why there are people who say they love money, they want to make money, they want to get money, but they don't spend any time studying money. That makes no sense to me. I spent all my time studying money. So people like me who study money and understand where the money is, how to obtain the money, how to make the money work for you, we benefit from inflation. Why? Well, because there's something, and they talk about this in that documentary, Boom, Bust, Boom, excuse me, that they talk about how inflation creates something that can be exciting yet really devastating. And it is a subcomponent of inflation called asset inflation. See, a lot of times when we talk about inflation, we end up talking about the price of bread, the price of gas, things like that. But really, asset inflation is the really, really interesting part of inflation, because that also impacts things like the price of stocks or the value of real estate. And who ends up owning the stocks and the real estate and everything else? It's the investors. So if I'm an investor and I own stock, then guess what? When inflation's shooting up, my stock prices are going up. If I'm an investor and I own real estate, then when inflation's shooting up, the value of my houses are shooting up. I bought property 2 years ago that's worth like 20 or 30% more than it was when I bought it 2 years ago. That's crazy. I didn't do any work for that money. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars, literally, that just appeared magically just because you own the asset. So this is one of the reasons why I tell you guys 100%, like I'm really telling you, this is crystal clear to me. I want it to be crystal clear to you. If you want your kids to get ahead in America, you must teach them to own assets. You must teach them to own assets. You must teach them to own assets. Because the people who get screwed by inflation are the people who don't own assets, who are working for a living. The U.S. wage, if you adjust it for inflation, has not even gone up in the last 50 years. What they call the real wage. Right now, the average worker makes about $27 an hour. Back in 1972, maybe they made $3.50 an hour, something like that. They said when you adjust for inflation, their wages have not gone up, but the cost of everything is going up like crazy. So don't put your kids in that category where they're going to lose from inflation. Put them in a category where they're going to win. You got it. Give me a yes in the chat. I need a public confirmation. Give me a yes, a public confirmation right now that if you have kids or if you're going to have kids, you're going to make sure your kids are ready. You're going to teach them how to own assets. You're going to buy shares of stock for them when they're young. You're going to prepare them to be on the top of the economic food chain, not at the bottom. Give me a yes in the chat if that's what you're going to do. I need you to verbally confirm this. I would like everyone to answer. Everyone, please put a yes in the chat. I'm literally begging you. If I was on my knees, I would literally get on my knees. Last time I got on my knees was when I proposed to my wife, and some of y'all saw that. Well, now I'm getting on my knees and proposing to you and begging you, please take care of our children. Please get our kids ready for the future. Please don't leave them out here stuck and struggling, because it is hard. It is so hard. And some of you know this firsthand. All right. Thank you. I got my yeses. Thank you, Donna and Michael and Tiara and Herman and everyone else. I appreciate you acknowledging that. All right. So do me a favor. If you could, please hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, share, subscribe. And don't forget, I'd like to, because we have the shout outs. I want to, if you don't mind, I'd like to acknowledge the Black businesses that are sponsored the podcast. Janae'sHerbal.com. That is one of the sponsors for today, and I hope that you will go and patronize these businesses. And I'm actually going to read. I have a little thing that they sent me with Janae's Herbal. Let me see if I can find it. Janae's Herbal is a company that. What do they do? Let me see here. Oh wait, I'll find it in a minute. I'll find it and I'll read it. Sorry about that. I'm bad. I'm not so good with this stuff just yet. Oh, Janae's Herbal. John DeBerry says he's the owner of Janae's Herbal. It's an organic health and beauty product line. Our products are unisex, and they're rich in herbs and oils that have been used for thousands of years for health and beauty. If you've got perfect skin, eczema, razor bumps, diaper rash, or wrinkles, these are the products for you. We make your outer beauty match your inner beauty, so you can visit Janae'sHerbal.com. If you want to sponsor a podcast and have me shout out your business the way I'm shouting out these businesses, just go to drboycefinance.com and you can do a sponsorship if you'd like. And believe me, I will promote your business. And we do reach about 1 million people a week on the podcast. So I'd love to support you. And if you support us, and it's kind of a nice trade. All right. So with that said, here's a couple of things that I found in this survey from Allianz Life. A couple things. One, they said 71% of people are worried that their wages are not going to keep up with inflation. You should be worried because they won't keep up with inflation. As I just explained to you a second ago, inflation tends to benefit rich people. That's just a fact. Number two, the Biden administration is in this weird denial where they're basically saying that we're definitely not in a recession. And they're making the point to say that look at unemployment. Unemployment is really low, so we can't be in a recession, but nobody's really talking about the quality of these jobs. Nobody's talking about what they call underemployment. People getting jobs that they really don't want to have, jobs that don't pay them what they're worth, jobs that don't give them the hours that they deserve. So I don't agree with Biden 100% there, but it is really interesting with the labor market, how strange things have gotten. I went to Cheesecake Factory, and in Cheesecake Factory, I ordered what I usually get, which is chicken teriyaki. And I like extra teriyaki sauce because I love teriyaki. I just like it. It's good. And I ordered my chicken teriyaki and I got my strawberry lemonade. And the guy said, we had to take chicken teriyaki off the menu. I said, how the hell can you do that? You've just ruined my entire life. And the guy said the reason they had to kill half the menu was because they could not get workers to come in. They literally had so few employees that they could not get workers to come in. And then I was in Atlanta, in the West Village in Smyrna, and I went to the Starbucks to get morning coffee because I told you I'm a coffee addict. I like coffee. And I went to get my coffee. I'm excited. You ever have that time where you're feeling groggy, but you're excited because you're about to make or have somebody make you like a really good cup of coffee and you can taste it in your brain and you're kind of pumped up about that. So I'm really excited about getting this Starbucks coffee. I get to the Starbucks and it's like 9:30 in the morning. I know that they got to be open. I mean, Starbucks, 9:30 a.m. on a weekday. Of course they're going to be open. Nope, they were locked. The door was locked. And the reason the door was locked is because Starbucks said that they could not find enough employees to run the store. So they had to shut the store down. So the labor market has gotten really, really strange. A lot of people have exited the labor market. A lot of companies need employees. And what they believe, here's one thing that they believe. This is where you got to kind of be mindful, is that they believe that in order for us to really get through the recession, in order for us to really feel the lows of what's coming in the economy, you're going to have unemployment rise. It's going to end up rising to 8 to 10%, they believe. And that's when you're going to start really feeling the effects of the recession. What I hope doesn't happen is what they call stagflation, where the inflation is also strong and the economy is weak. That really sucks. That's like you having, your expenses are highest when you have the least ability to pay. It kind of sucks that way. But that's the fear that people have I don't think that fear is going to necessarily be warranted. I believe that they're going to find a way to control inflation. The Federal Reserve is doing a lot of tightening, which is basically where they're increasing interest rates. So now what you're seeing is that the housing market's starting to cool down. The prices of, I talked to a real estate agent in Atlanta, and she was telling me how the housing market was insane a year ago. She said now it's easy, it's simple, it's not, it's everything's getting back to normal. And also another sign of the recession is when they start talking about consumer spending dropping. That's when you're going to start having some of these inflationary or some of these recessionary indicators popping up. So because at the end of the day, when consumers stop spending, when consumers stop spending, that's when corporate earnings start going down. That's when stock prices start dipping even further than they have right now. That's the thing that could actually occur over, say, the next year and a half. It all really depends on what the inflationary data says as the Fed is tightening, trying to get inflation under control. Once they get inflation under control, they're going to stop trying to slow down the economy, which is good news for your stocks. What I'm optimistic on it in a certain context. Jeremy Siegel, who's an economist at Wharton, said something like, he said that he believes that the Fed is going to see inflation slowing down. They're also going to see the economy getting hit hard by the increased interest rates, and he believes they're actually going to pivot. They're going to switch and slow down the rate of tightening. I believe at that point, that's when your stocks are going to start going crazy. And here's the bottom line. If you want to get any advice or any thoughts from what I'm talking about right now, let's mark my words on this. This is a great time to buy stock. In 3 to 5 years, most stocks you buy in solid, large American companies are going to be purchases that you will not regret. Do you get that point? If you're looking, if maybe all of my talk is kind of throwing you off a little bit. I know sometimes I talk fast, and I don't mean to do that, but literally right now is a great time to buy stock. There are stocks that have prices right now in quality companies where they will never hit that price ever again. That price will be gone. So if you have some extra money to invest, don't make the mistake a lot of people are making. A lot of people are staying out of the market because they're afraid of losing money. I'm not saying the market can't go down further. It could. But if you sit on that sideline, you're going to miss out. And believe me, inflation sucks, but inflation sucks really bad when you're not even able to benefit from it. Wealthy people tend to benefit on some level from inflation in a way that working class people do not. All right, so a couple things I want to remind you guys of. So in a second, I'll give you my stock pick of the week. But before we do that, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. I'm on TikTok live as well. So if you want to go to TikTok, just look up Boyce Watkins. Also, my podcast is on Spotify and Apple and all that stuff. So you can actually search for the Dr. Boyce Breakdown if you want to listen while you're doing whatever else you're doing, hanging out and or driving your truck or exercising. And also we have financial flashcards for children. These are a great way to teach wealth and economics. And so we actually have a discount bundle where we have the financial flashcards that teach stocks and investing. And then we have the entrepreneurship flashcards, which talk about building and starting businesses. I believe that if you want your kids to get ahead, you teach them that stuff early. They're very effective. They work extremely well. So if you'd like to take a look, just go to financialflashcards.com. That's financialflashcards.com. All right, and don't forget that we're also having our All Black National Convention October 28th through the 30th in Charlotte, North Carolina. If you'd like to join us at the convention and meet other like-minded people who think like you, who are doing what you're doing, just go to boycewatkins.com and look for the A, B, and C, and you'll find the passes there. So my stock pick of the week is Amazon. Amazon is a company that I believe in deeply right now. I have every reason to believe that buying Amazon consistently, even if you bought 1 share or 2 shares per week or per month or whatever you can afford, I believe that if you did that consistently and you don't sell your shares over the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to be really happy that you did it. So Amazon is the stock pick of the week. That's my favorite stock. There's some other stocks I grabbed from my students this week. And of course, if you want to join my class, just go to boycewatkins.com. But Amazon's kind of the one where based on my research, I felt really, really good about investing in Amazon. And one of the great things about Amazon is that they just have good management. They know how to make money. They know how to endure downturns. Amazon's pretty much always going to be good, at least based on where they are right now. All right, guys. So I've got to go. My wife is waiting for me. She wants to go running. So let me go ahead and head on out of here. This week, I'm going to be in Houston at the Power Networking Conference. Dr. Joyce C. Frazier is the host. So I'm really excited about that. And so I'll tell you guys more about that later. So please have a good night. God bless you. And I will see you soon. Take care now. Peace.